I would say almost everything I see is from the left wing, not from the right wing.
So what are you saying?
I'm willing to do anything. I want to see peace.
Then do it, sir.
Say it. Do it. Say it. Do you want to call him? What do you want to call him? Give me a name. Give me a
white
name.
Supremacists and
white
supremacists and right
Proud Boys. Stand back and stand by. But I'll tell you what. Somebody's got to do something about Antifa and the left, because this is not a right-wing problem. This is a left-wing. This is a left-wing problem.
White supremacists. Antifa's an idea, not an organization.
Oh, you get it.
Not malicious. That's what his FBI. His FBI director said.
Well, then you know what?
No, we're done, sir. We're moving on to the next.
We're moving on to the next. That's not an idea.
Everybody in your administration tells you the truth is a bad idea.
Can I tell you what?
You have no ideas.
Antifa is a dangerous,
all right,
radical
gentlemen,
group.
We're now moving on to the Trump and Biden records.
They'll overthrow you.
When a president, I'm going to ask a question. When the president seeks a second term, it is generally a referendum on his record. But Vice President Biden, you like to quote one of your dad's sayings, which is, don't compare me to the almighty, compare me to the alternative. And in this case, sir, you are the alternative. Looking at both of your records, I'm going to ask each of you, why should voters elect you president over your opponent? In this segment, President Trump, you go first, 2 minutes.
Because there has never been an administration or president who has done more than I've done in a period of 3.5 years. And that's despite the impeachment hoax. And you saw what happened today with Hillary Clinton, where it was a whole big con job. But despite going through all of these things, where I had to fight both flanks and behind me and above, there has never been an administration that's done what I've done. The greatest, before COVID came in, the greatest economy in history, lowest unemployment numbers. Everything was good. Everything was going. And by the way, there was unity going to happen. People were calling me for the first time in years. They were calling and they were saying, it's time maybe. And then what happened? We got hit, but now we're building it back up again. A rebuilding of the military, including Space Force and all of the other things. A fixing of the VA, which was a mess under him. 308,000 people died because they didn't have proper health care. He was a mess. And we now got a 91% approval rating at the VA, our vets. We take care of our vets. But we've rebuilt our military. The job that we've done, and I'll tell you something, some people say maybe the most important. By the end of the first term, I'll have approximately 300 federal judges and Court of Appeals judges, 300, and hopefully 3 great Supreme Court justices. That is a record, the likes of which very few people, and you know one of the reasons I'll have so many judges? Because President Obama and him left me 128 judges to fill. When you leave office, you don't leave any judges. That's like, you just don't do that. They left 128 openings, and if I were a member of his party, because they have a little different philosophy, I'd say if you left us 128 openings, you can't be a good president, you can't be a good vice president. But I want to
too busy having their little hot dog parties.
It'll probably be a
hot tub meetings.
by the end of this term. 300 judges, it's a record.
It's a fact. WikiLeaks said they like to go to the hot tub.
Elect you president as opposed to President
$150,000 worth of hot dogs.
Under this president, we become weaker.
The heck's going on?
Poor, more
it's a real story.
And more violent. When I was vice president, we inherited a recession. I was asked to fix it. I did. We left him a economy, and he caused
this one time at band camp
with regard to being weaker.
Give me a break.
The fact is that I've gone head to head with Putin and made it clear to him we're not going to take any of his stuff. He's Putin's puppy. He still refuses to even say anything to Putin.
See how rude he is?
The bounty on the
Putin's
heads of American
puppy.
soldiers.
Your son got
take the gloves off.
And by the way, my son.
Wait a minute, Mr. President, your campaign agreed.
Look at this guy.
Both sides would get 2-minute answers uninterrupted. Well, your side agreed to it.
You're letting him call that.
Why don't you observe what your
Putin's
campaign
puppy.
agreed to as a ground rule, okay, sir?
He can't say nothing back.
No, I'm not asking. That was a rhetorical question.
Can you
go ahead,
back
sir.
30 seconds?
Yeah, yes, you may have.
All right.
Go ahead.
So, thirdly, we're poor. The billionaires have gotten much more wealthy by a tune of over $300 to $400 billion more just since COVID. You in the home, you got less. You're in more trouble than you were before. In terms of being more violent, when we were in office, there were 15% less violence in America than there is today. He's president of the United States. It's on his watch.
Who's he talking
and
to?
with regard
You,
to more
he?
divided, the nation can't stay divided. We can't be this way.
Either you
And
or he.
speaking of my son, the way you talk about the military, the way you talk about them being losers and being and just being suckers. My son was in Iraq. He spent
Here
a year
we
there.
go.
He got the Bronze
Here
Star.
we go.
He got the Conspicuous Service Medal. He was not a loser. He was a patriot, and the people left behind there.
They've
were
been
heroes.
practicing this.
And I resent.
Are you talking about
like hell.
Hunter? Are you talking about
I'm
Hunter?
talking about my son, Bo Biden. You're
I
talking
don't know.
about.
I don't know, Bo. I know Hunter.
Yeah, you
Hunter
know,
got
Bo.
Hunter got thrown out of the military. He was thrown out, dishonorably discharged.
That's not true. It
For
wasn't
cocaine
dishonorable.
use, and
Yeah,
he didn't have a job
exactly.
until you became vice president. And once you
None of
became
that
vice
is
president, he made a fortune in Ukraine, in China, in Moscow,
That is
and
simply
various
not
other places.
true.
He
My
made a
son-
fortune.
My son.
And he didn't have a job.
My son, like a lot of people we know at home, had a drug problem. He's overtaken it. He's
Has he overtaken
he's
it?
worked on it. And
Has
I'm
he?
proud of him.
But why
I'm
was he
proud of
given
my
tens
son.
of millions
All
of
right,
But he
dollars?
wasn't given
All right,
tens of
he
millions
was
of dollars.
given
That
tens
is
of
totally,
millions of
that's
dollars.
totally
That's
discredited.
Hookers. What about the prostitutes?
Discredited.
We've already been through this. I think the American people would rather hear about more substantial.
No, I wanna hear about it.
You know,
I wanna hear about it.
Sir, I'm going to make it.
$3.5 million, Chris Wallace. I want to hear about it.
That
Talk
is
about
not
it.
true.
Gentlemen,
That report is totally
Why did he-
discredited.
I
Mitt Romney on that committee said it wasn't worth taxpayers' money, that report. It was written for political reasons.
You know, I'd like to talk about climate change.
So would I.
Okay. The
Yeah, 'cause it
forest
doesn't
fires in the
even
West are
exist.
raging now.
That's
They have
why.
burned millions of acres. They have displaced hundreds of thousands of people. When state
liberals
officials
Antifa
are blaming the
started
fires
it.
on climate change, Mr. President,
Give me a
you
break.
say, I don't think the science knows. Over your 4 years,
Give me a break.
you have pulled the U.S. out of the Paris Climate